There, I got cut off again. Well, she had another. He had another young lady, and that young lady was Caucasian, and how he persuaded her to do such a thing with him is beyond me. But um, you know, it's unfortunate what happened, and it's. I don't think it has anything to do, not necessarily all the crimes. Now some crimes are some, not. I won't say most. Crimes happen because of a person's ethnicity. I better say just color of their skin, because I'm trying to pronounce, and when I get to, my brain says no, I don't want to say that. And so it's some of the crimes have um, a number of crimes. I won't say a lot of crimes happen because of the color of a person's skin, but this is sure because of that she's female and I want sex, and maybe he had relations with other women in the rank, because that sort of thing goes on. You mix men and women together, something's gonna happen, unfortunately. And they had this thing where I won't give out the dirties, but a lot of people that's in the army, they will admit, Navy, Air Force, Marine, they will admit that sort of stuff happens, and some are willing, some just let it happen, some women, and some, maybe there are some rapes, some, and they don't report it. I'm sure they don't have to be in the Army or in Navy, Air Force, Marine for some women to report a rape, because it's a sense of pride, is getting, exposing themselves out there. But anyway, yeah, it's a known fact that sort of thing happens. It's just, male, female. Yeah. It's just, you're trying to team them up and you say, hey, I'm equal. Boom, that's a lot. I'm equal, and I can be with a man, like buddies. Yeah. This is, I'm gonna have to plead that it's not entirely possible for a man to be strictly, that you're my friend without any sexual, because come on, he's a man. She is a female. I'm not talking about this situation now. I'm talking about what I said. That's unfortunate what happened. Her life is lost because of him, and he took his own life. But apart from that, the same as that, honestly, I used to think that a man and a woman can be friends. They can be actual friends. I used to talk to a guy, and I thought, yeah, we're friends, and he's my friend, and he listens to me and all that stuff, and I really thought that he was my friend. And I told this to another person who was female. I said, that's my friend. And she said, that's not your friend. I said, yeah, that's my friend, and another female got involved, says, and she says that's that he and she are friends, but he wasn't there. It's just me talking. And she says, no, that's not possible either. She was like, yeah, it's not possible. What does she think? And I said, yes, that's possible. We are friends. We're friends. Well, I got my, since they said all those things, I kind of like, I still talk to him as, a friend for, after that. But my antennas were kind of up, you know, um, kind of pointed up and saying, no, he's nice, he's nice. They're being ridiculous. And well, at this point in time, event happened. Uh, the guy admitted that he liked me. He didn't like me as a friend. He liked me as um, someone he wanted to talk to. And I didn't see him like that. And I said no, that I didn't see him like that. I just said, no, I don't want to have a relation. But he actually approached it like, not as I like you, but actually want to have relations with me. Um, and, like trying to touch me in a certain way and, like lunge, like, hey, I want, because I guess he thought that his niceness was enough feeding up to that point. And then there it goes. I don't need to buy her flowers or roses or take her out. I fed myself up to that point, so she's going to give herself to me. And no, because my mindset was that, we're friends. That's what we are. We're friends. I didn't see him as I like him. I like him as a friend. That's it. That's all I see. But the people, I believe that what the young ladies had told me. That's not possible for you to. Even some guys said that to me. That's not possible for a man to be friendship with a woman. Uh, you know, um, we're different, men and women. We're different. Um, Men, it's medically reported, and it's been notified. It's been studied. They're stronger than women, and women consistently try to equal themselves to a man. Men are thinkers, you know. We, on the other hand, we think, but kind of like we're emotionally, we're more in the line of emotion. That's why, when a mom carries a baby and the baby's born, the baby is soothed and comfort, and you think of that mom as soft. She's my comfort. She is my she's the one I can turn to. If somebody hurt me, I can turn to my mom, you know, uh, you know, uh, for that comfort, as opposed to my father, who is security. He's security, and he's strong, and you feel more safe because he's there. Yeah, he's a security, and you need the comfort, yes, but you also need the security, and you need that strength that comes in the security. And women can go to bodybuilding shops and all that stuff and change their sex or whatever. But metabolically and bone structure and everything that's made them who they are to be a woman, they're still a woman. And, they're not equal to the male. But as the Bible said, that if you remember that when there's Adam and there's Eve. And Adam, God, put in charge of, he put Adam in charge of everything. Put Adam in charge of naming the animals. Name all the animals. He was in charge of the garden and everything like that. And then from Adam came woman. From the womb of Adam. That's why it's woman. And so women don't like to, no. Yeah, God gave us a blessing to be able to bear man, but it didn't begin that way. It began from the man, the rib of the man we put Adam to sleep, and it made woman. And he even named his wife Eve. She didn't name herself. She said, look, no, I don't want to call that. I'm going to name myself, No. He named her Eve. And how it came a separation, such a separation came about because when they were there, the devil was there too. And the devil posed himself as a snake. Now, a lot of people don't like snakes. Some people do. I can probably say a handful, maybe like snakes. And there's some people that, snakes are, they're animals and they're dangerous and, but I won't necessarily say I don't like them. And some people, I don't like snakes at all. And that would probably be the majority. But you'll see on television is totally different. You got men picking up snakes and a few women. I watched this beauty contest where women had to pick the snakes. They had to go with the snakes in this beauty contest. So anyway, on that, it gave when the snake, which is Satan, confronted not Adam. You know why he didn't confront Adam? He confronted the weaker vessel. You have to look at that, Satan is no dummy, okay? He's not going to go to Adam. He's the man, He know what God put. He put him in charge. So he's not going to go to him. He's not going to go to him directly and try to deceive him. Come on. It's just like the salesman that come to the door. We have, in our subdivision, there's no soliciting. Well, we still see solicitors come by the door. Knock on your door. Have your door open. You don't have them open for them. You have it open because you want it open. And they'll come by and they'll say, I come to the door and I say, they say, well, I'm selling this. And I said, well, no, I got to talk to my husband first. I can't do this. And what the guy says to me says, I'm sure you can persuade your husband in this deal, if you know what I mean. He didn't say if you know what I mean, but if you know what I mean, what he said that um, persuading that I'm also the sexual being uh, for the man, for my husband. Now I'm going to persuade him for this piece of junk that you're selling. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to happen. And, onto the story, he confronted the snake. The devil confronted Eve. And from that, he put in her mind, oh, surely God didn't say these things, and surely you won't die. And Eve, we as women, we're gullible sometimes, we're gullible. I know there's some tough women out there. No, I'm not gullible. I'm a tough woman. I'm equal to man. I'm this and that. No. Okay, sorry. Structural wise, some women, I will admit, they're very smart. Some women, not saying anything about smart, doesn't say anything about how that you're dumb. Just says that men, um, they're women also. Some women are goal oriented, and men. If you let a man be a man, let him be a man, because God pointed him, and Satan's goal is to knock the man down. Knock him down. And when you knock the man down, you're doing exactly what the devil wants. Certainly he wants the women up there. Why? Because he can take advantage of you, and he's already done that to so many women, already taken advantage of them, but they will never admit it. Some, yeah, that's true. Some strong woman, those that, I'm bad to the bone, will never admit it because of pride. That's one of the lists of, that's why we're in, like, with this sin. Well, we're getting to that sin. Now, Eve was bombarded with all these things and by the devil, and the devil's just deceive her. And now, mind you, we see snakes today. Snakes don't have legs. They crawl around and use their muscles to wiggle through the grass and all that stuff. Well, back then, when he confronted Eve, he had legs. I don't know how many legs, but he had legs. And so it was different. How you see the snake today. He wasn't a lizard, he was a snake. So anyway, he deceived Eve with, didn't say everything he said. So I'm sure he said a little bit more, but, it's reported that he said these things, being specific of what he said to Eve. And it's in Genesis, okay? You can read it. I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. But since that happened, he says, where's that tree that's, he said you can eat. He said, I can eat from any tree. That's what she said. We can eat from any tree in the garden except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We can't eat. And mind you, the tree of life was there also. But the devil's very clever. He's not going to want Eve. He's going to persuade Eve to something else. He's not going to persuade Eve to the tree of life. He's going to try to get Eve to understand, why can't you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Oh, it's because you be like God. And she's like thinking, yeah. No. He's almost like wants you to be a dummy. He wants you to be a dummy. God wants you to be dumb. But that's not the case. But anyway, how she took it and said, you got a point there. But she said, oh, but if we do, we'll surely die. And he says, no, you surely won't die. You won't die. God's not going to do that. You know, what are you doing being ridiculous? And, we're naive, As women, we're naive, okay? A child even picks up on that. A child picks up on how naive a woman is opposed to the man. The mom is more naive and the father is more disciplined. He's in charge. He's his thinker. He's his he is like the tall building here. He's to be respected, okay? He stand in respect. It's not to say the woman is not in line of respect. God by no means put us as women to be disrespected, but he made us different. You call your little sister? Can you call her? Josiah.
Yeah.
Call your little sister.
Lizzie.
No, knock on the door. And so he put us in no position to say, well, we're nothing. So men can just stomp on us if he wanted to. He can just have the pick of the litter. We don't have to be. We're just nothing. And if you put yourself, I was listening to a friend. If you put this about you say this about yourself, you're gonna believe it. Because you said it about yourself. Now, if you never said these things about yourself, you never believe yourself to be this way, then you're not going to believe when they tell you this. You dummy. Yes. And, your father calling you. If you're not going to believe this, if you don't think this stuff about yourself. Well, Eve probably I got something going here, that's true. I won't surely, so I'll eat this. Excuse me. I'll eat this fruit. And it looks, she looked at it. It's round. People say it's an apple. But I have questions about that. The reason why I have questions is because I looked at it and said, why would God put a sinful fruit for us to eat now? Leave the apple. It's the apple. I'm always correct and says, Bernadette, stop being so literal, but that's the way I approach it. I don't see it as us still eating that apple. We're going to just leave this sinful fruit here for you. It's just the knowledge of good and evil. So you're going to have that fruit all the time. But that's just the way I see it. I don't think that that's the issue, that God's going to say, hey, we're going to leave that fruit for them to eat all the time if they want it, No, I don't see it that way. I just see it. It's a fruit. I don't know what fruit it is. Never saw the fruit. They just describe it as red. And didn't say if it's red, white inside. Didn't say anything. It is red and it's sweet. Apples are sweet. And apple is red on the outside. And I'm sure there's fruits out there, probably in distant countries or something like that, and that's a red fruit. But they didn't say what type of fruit this was. People just put an apple in there because, hey, apples are red. So anyway, she ate it and she gave it to her husband. Now, her husband, without question, you wonder, like, well, we're not supposed to eat from this tree. I mean, just to be logical. Uh, how did she get her husband to eat from this tree? I mean, in the Bible it says she gave it to her husband, and he took a bite. That's what they say. They don't say in detail how she did. She just said, "Hey, eat this," and he does. Some men I know. Well, my husband, he won't eat. I say, "Hey, take this." He's not going to do it. So, I mean, some men won't do that either. It says, "Hey, take this." He's going to want to know what it is that you want to give me, you know. Uh, and then quickly, right away, he said, "Hey, that's not from the tree of knowledge and good and evil. We're not supposed to be in that tree." But she gave it to her husband. And in the Bible, you make the interpretation that, hey, he just took it. He just took it. There was no big deal. He just took it. And so I don't know if that's the play, because that's what you'll look at, well, he took it. They don't say anything else. They don't say, oh, he tried to have a talk with her and say, why you want me to eat this fruit or something like that. He just took it. So how did he take it? Some people believe that, the guy's in love with a woman, if he's truly there, how guys, when you have that relationship, courting a girl, you court a girl, you can be very nice. You can be very nice with her, because you want to put a good impression, okay, on this female. You want this female, and you want to bring a good impression. You don't show her bad side. You don't want to show her any bad side. You want to be this clean individual, because women, we like clean. And so that's, you want to put on a good image. Well, I'm sure in this case, Adam, being Eve, he didn't know Eve for a very long time. He loved her, and he didn't say, well, God, you made her this way. I don't really like this woman. He immediately liked and loved her. And when you love that person, you want to put a good impression about yourself for this person. You don't want to give her your ugliness, because then she might not like you. She might say, hey, I guess we're supposed to be together, but and then, or you're not going to get what men, you're not going to get sex. You're not. You have to be nice. So in this, some people believe that she probably persuaded him in a sexual matter, and then even others believe that the snake persuaded her in a sexual matter. But I never put anything past Satan. Anything, he's father of lies. He's evil to the core, and he's that's reflect. He's been cast out of heaven. Cast out. Here you are, beautiful, and you've been cast out. No longer here. And so, well, she gave that. I'm just go with what they said. The Bible said that, because it didn't go in that Bible. When you read the Bible, it doesn't go into all these details. In some chapters they do. They go in details. How many pieces of gold this person have, how many people work for them. They don't go into the whole lifeline of the mom or the woman, a lot. And you would, if you read the Bible, it's not that many women are in there, that has, you can tell in the Old Testament there's They will report that uh, the man and the wife in some of them. So women um, are not that much highlighted. Now, because if you go further, when Adam and Eve had their children, they only mentioned the two because they made an impact. They had other children, even the third one, but unnecessarily it wasn't the third one. But they made it. They had other kids. They had other children. But in your mind, you're probably thinking, there was only 3 people there, and where's the female? They must have come from this long, distant land somewhere. No, it came from Adam and Eve, and it mentioned them. They were named by their parents, but it's not named in the Bible, you know. So they were other kids. I don't know how many kids, but it was enough to populate this earth. Well, anyway, moving on. They, she, where am I? Well, she gave the apple to him, and he ate it. And from that point, open up what God commanded. When God makes a command, believe it. Some people don't want to believe it, but believe it. People rather believe in so many other things. Who said that? So and so. So I believe it. But when God says it, believe it. So anyhow, that's how everything came about. And when moving on, she blamed it when God found out. Of course, God knows. He knew before. But she blamed the snake, and now the snake is crawling, slithering through, and he's eating dust. Snake has to be eating dust somewhere at a point. It's just slithering through the grass and all that stuff, getting in his face and all that stuff. Come on. He's already mad as ever, just having to do that. How come I don't have no legs? It's got to be awful, So anyway, she blamed him. And what ended up happening was Adam, so why did you do this? And it was because of the snake. And Adam says, why did you? And he blamed the woman. It's because of her that this happened. And what happened to the woman? What was her? Now they were cast out. They're cast out of the Garden of Eden. There's no more Garden of Eden. There's no more for them. They were cast out, but he cursed her. I want to say cursed. Well, he sentenced her to pain in childbirth. And women, we can attest to that. There is pain in childbirth. And also that the man will always be over her. Now, he said this. You'll be trying to get over on the man, but he will be over you. And for of course, for the man, he has to toil and reap and everything for his food. He has to work. And, working is hard. Okay? You want those vacations and all that stuff. You want to just sit on your ruffles and stuff like that. It is hard. And if you're in the field all day, that's hard. Oh, he had to do that. Okay? and raise cattle and all that stuff. So he kind of started, here you have this, you were in paradise, but now you're in the slums. You have to build this up, and they did. I'm sure God's grace was on them. It wasn't like God say, "Well, bye, see ya." you know, they cast out the garden. There was an angel. He even put an angel there, swinging a sword. You ain't coming in here. Ain't happened. Now, he didn't say he destroyed it. That means you cannot go in that area anymore. I'm sure people was probably out there. Oh, we gotta look for the Garden of Eden. No, that's the angels there swinging with a sword. I ain't going over there. Okay, who's to say that the angel's still not swinging the sword over there? So I'm not gonna go. I know where my Garden of Eden is. It's in heaven. Okay, we have to. We know that from this act of eating this fruit, knowledge for good and evil, there was sin put there. Sin. It was because it was sin. And sin, it doesn't matter what you try to do with sin. Wash it, clean. You can clean yourself 100 times over, and you'll never, ever clean yourself from sin. Never. Sin is in the blood. And mind you, everybody's blood is red. Black people don't have green blood, and white people have red, and other a Spanish person has pink. We all have the same red blood. Okay, and like I said, we all have our hearts. If you put the bones together, you're not going to see any difference. You say, "Oh, well, that was a black guy right there, and that one was a white guy." Because the bone structure is the same. We're not apes. Lots of people put that. People who don't want to believe in God, but that's a result of sin. Everything, you see these things as a result of sin. Murder, chaos, craziness, a result of sin. All these things are a result of sin. People killing each other like that, it's a result of sin. You like to blame the person. It's all over. Yeah, he's gone to jail now. I'm satisfied. Are you really? There's sin still. You didn't kill sin. Sin is still there. When they had the march, did it eliminate anyone else from killing one another and chaos and all this stuff? No, it doesn't. It won't. It's a result of sin. So you say, well, sin. I don't believe it's sin. I believe it's that person. We all have it. Well, for me, I've been washed by the blood of Jesus. And Jesus is God's son. But Jesus is God incarnate, which means Jesus, it's God.